Benevolence, dear mortals. You can call me Whimsical William. Welcome to my channel. Okay, so I just recently saw Sonic 3. It was an incredible film. I had a great time, watched it with some friends, got some really cool posters. It was just a really fun day of shopping and enjoying a really good movie. Here's the posters that I got, by the way. They're in the thumbnail, but let's get a little closer. So we got Sonic and Tails and the broken glass. We got Shadow punching some glass. And then we got my boy Knuckles and some more broken glass. Then we got the Sonic 3 emblem, the limited edition. It's a really cool poster, I like it. And then we got Shadow hitting the Akira pose. Very cool stuff. Alright, so the title of this video is called, essentially paraphrasing, The Lessons in Revenge. Revenge is a trope that's as old as books. It's been done over and over and over again in many different ways. You got Monte Cristo. He wanted revenge against people that got him wrongfully locked up and ruined his life. One of my favorite games, No More Heroes. There's a character named Shinobu who wants revenge for her father being murdered. There's just so many different flavors of revenge, but they all lead you down a similar path, ultimately to your own demise. Sonic 3 is no difference from this genre of revenge, lust for power and destruction. Shadow is a very troubled character who didn't start off thirsting for revenge and being so angry and negative and full of rage. Shadow started off as a character that let his guard down and connected with another character named Maria. It's like that in the video games, and it's like that in this movie. Shadow got really close to this character. This character was kind to him and understanding. And I mean, no spoilers because this movie is still freshly out, but some things happen. Shadow gets bitter, Shadow gets angry, and then we see Shadow as we see him in these posters, and if you watch any trailers, you see him as you saw him in the trailers. Now, I will say that the pacing was amazing, and I've learned that pacing isn't necessarily how long or how short an event is, but rather how much detail is put into a specific scene or set of characters and relevance to the story. If you put in too much detail into a conversation that goes nowhere, it's going to feel like the pacing is slow and it's going to feel like that scene is dragging. And if you don't put enough detail into an important fight or an important piece of dialogue or an important piece of symbolism that later on gets connected to the other parts of the story, it's going to feel rushed. So it's not necessarily how fast or how slow something is, but really the amount of detail that you choose to put into specific scenes and events and things of that nature. This movie had really good pacing all across. It starts off pretty quick, but it starts off with something that doesn't seem relevant or important. And in hindsight, really wasn't that important, but they tie it around and make it important. But it still doesn't feel forced, which is really nice. Alright, so let's see what else. The movie looked beautiful, the effects, the dialogue was really good. I'm big on dialogue. The characters look cool, but they're saying idiotic things. It takes me out of it. Let's see. Oh, Keanu Reeves is an amazing voice actor. All the voice actors did the thing. They were just amazing. They were great. The story was really good within itself. The locations that they chose, you could tell they really went bigger. Like they're in London, they're in Japan, they're all over the place. So it was really cool to see that. All right, let's get on to the topic, which is revenge. Revenge leads you to your demise, to your own destruction. Once you get your revenge, before you're destroyed from the inside out, you're usually like cold and alone and you just don't feel that wholeness. You feel empty. I believe that revenge leads to emptiness. Shadow is a cautionary tale of how, in detail, revenge takes you there. Shadow is angry, he's tired, he's bitter. A lot of times when we get overstimulated or when we get angry or we're hurt, we just want to end it all. We want the entire world destroyed. We want to watch it all burn. But once we start to get time to really think about our emotions and the things that happened to us, the people that did these things to us, some of us, not all of us, can reflect the things that we wanted, the things that we wished, the destruction, the fire, the chaos. We start to realize that that's not really necessary and it's not going to fix anything or change anything. You're still going to feel that hurt, if not more, because you hurt other people almost the same way that you were hurt. The saying goes, hurt people hurt people. So Shadow teaches us, and Sonic 3 teaches us, that revenge leads to emptiness. It leads to self-reflection if you're that type of person. And then another thing that I missed out, it leads to regret. If you don't get the chance to do the things that you wanted to do because your heart was full of so much hatred, you have a decision. I'm gonna go through with these things because I've come too far. And you do these things, and a lot of us will feel regret before we do the things. Some of us are heartless, and we're not gonna feel anything. We're gonna revel in the destruction. But eventually, there will come a time and a place and a selective amount of thoughts. Or I wouldn't say karma, but I'll say the energy that you put out finds you, and you will regret. Some of us sooner than others. You can't let yourself drown within these big emotions. And that's exactly what Shadow was doing. And he's just hurting others the same way he was hurt. And it's really sad to see Shadow go through all that. And you forget, because it's so well written. It's a fictional character. This isn't based off a true story. No hedgehogs were harmed in this. You really feel Shadow's hurt and his pain as you hear more of his dialogue. He says things like, there won't be a world left when I'm done. He was hurt so much by a select group of people that he truly wants to watch the world burn. Innocent people that had nothing to do with it. He just wants his hurt to just infect and infest everything around him. And these emotions could get so big and swallow us whole and drown us that we lose sight of the important things. And the important thing to do once you're hurt, whether you're hurt physically, you're cut, you're bruised, a broken bone, or you're hurt mentally, your pride, your ego, your feelings just hurt. The most important thing to do for you is to heal. It's not to make someone feel the way you felt. It's not to get revenge and dish out that pain. It's not to try and make others understand how you feel. It's to heal. If more people gave themselves the opportunity and the chance to heal, better decisions will be made. I think less wars would happen, less breakups would happen, less destruction and chaos and hatred. But when you feel emotions that big, everything is firing off like neurons. You just want to lash out, and you don't give yourself enough time to react or to actually feel those feelings. We don't want to feel. We want to go numb. We want to rush into something. We want that instant gratification. And you just got to take your time and feel those feelings. Shadow had a lot of time to feel those feelings. Unfortunately, there's a difference between voluntarily taking time and being forced to take time. No spoilers in this video. Once again, I'm not going to explain exactly what I mean by being forced to take time versus being, taking your time voluntarily. I will say, I'll give an example. Somebody pisses you off at your job. You walk to the break room, you grab some water, you take a breather, and then you come back on the floor, and then you explain to your manager or your coworker, hey, what you said really bothered me. It made me feel this and this and this. and you guys talk it out and reconcile. Being forced is somebody saying something horrible to you. Your manager sees that you're getting angry, and he or she tells you to stop what you're doing, get off the floor, and walk it off. One is voluntarily, you took your time to try to, relax, and the other one is like more disciplinary. Or a better example would be being locked up in prison versus locking yourself in your room and giving yourself time to think and to cool off. They're not the best examples, but as you can see, one of them is putting your freedom in the balance while the other is exercising your freedom. Shadow was the latter. So yeah, this was a really good movie, and you could take a lot of lessons from it, but the lesson that I took was revenge and how it erodes the psyche and causes more destruction than just the destruction that the person wanting revenge causes. Revenge infects and infests everything around it. You involuntarily hurt many other people with this goal, with this mindset, with this passion towards destruction. Well, thank you so much for listening to me ramble. I'm Whimsical William. We are almost at the new year. I'm probably going to post a video for the new year as well. What are you doing? What are your plans? Are you changing things? Are you keeping things the same? Do you expect to change? What are your thoughts on the New Year's? Me personally, I'm just gonna keep doing what I was doing, making videos, writing, drawing, reading, just everything that I've been doing. I'm just gonna keep moving forward with it. Nothing changes for me except the calendar. But with that being said, peace.